We're going for it again. In 2018, we could see the Super Bowl right back here in Indianapolis after the incredible success in hosting the game in 2012. City leaders made it official on Friday. We are making the bid to host one of the biggest sporting events in the world. But we face some stiff competition. Today, we're sitting down with one of the leaders of that bid to talk about what will be different and what we're up against. Plus, a big change for drivers in the downtown area is coming very soon. The South Split is about to be closed. All that and more coming up on this edition of Indianapolis This Week.
From RTV6, Indianapolis This Week.
And welcome to Indianapolis This Week. I'm Todd Connor. Super Bowl 46 helped put Indianapolis on the big stage when it comes to hosting major sporting events. Sure, we've had the Indy 500 every year, and yes, we've had many Final Fours, but the spectacle put on by the Circle City for the Super Bowl may have been unmatched. Attendance records were broken for the NFL experience as people flooded the Super Bowl Village downtown. Great reviews were written about the setup of the downtown area, and Mother Nature did us a big favor when it came to warm weather for February. Now we are going for Super Bowl 52 in an effort that could once again bring more than $150 million in economic impact for Indy. Joining us now is Allison Millington, who served as the CEO of the Super Bowl Host Committee in 2012 and is the president of the Indiana Sports Corp. And now your new position, you are chair of the 2018 Super Bowl Bid Committee.
That's
Is that correct?
Yes.
A lot of work ahead.
Yes, we've got a busy few months coming, but we're excited and ready to jump in.
Well, it's great to know which game we're in for now. Why 2018 and Super Bowl 52?
You know, we looked ahead at the calendar, a long way out, 7-8 years, and there's a number of new stadiums coming online for 2019. We wanted to still try to host another Super Bowl while a little bit of the afterglow from 2012 is still going on.
For sure.
So sort of for a lot of reasons, it seems like 18's the year, so that's what we're going to go for.
It's going to take a little money.
Yes.
First, you have the bid process, and then to put it on if we were selected, if we are selected. Let's start with the bid process. I mean, do we have what it takes to get that going?
Yeah, the NFL has actually put in a new requirement the last few years that they cut to a short list in October. So this week, all the cities that were interested in Super Bowl put their paperwork in. It's called their intent form. And then the NFL will shorten that list in October. So we do have one hurdle in October that we have to get through. Should we get through that hurdle, then in April, the written part of the bid is due. And then in May is the oral presentation to the owners. So it's coming quickly. A
shorter list, I think, of cities the last go around than what you may face in this initial step this time. Who's our biggest competition?
I would say, New Orleans and Tampa are going to be strong competitors for us. They've both hosted a lot of Super Bowls, and they've done a great job. We're keeping an eye on the Minnesota Stadium that's being built, and to see if they will be ready in time to host an 18 Super Bowl. They may have to roll to 19 based on their stadium construction timeline. So I think that group will probably be the ones that advance forward.
As Jim Irsay said when the announcement was made, we don't have the palm trees, we don't have the beaches to sell. So what are you going to sell this time around that you can tell us about now?
Yeah, well, the good thing is we've actually done it now. So we have a lot of our 2012 experience and success to stand on and say, we executed almost a flawless Super Bowl. So we're excited about that. And then we're going to build on what we did with the Village. The foundation of the Village was very successful, so now we can take it to the next level and the things that will be involved with that. So we've got a great blueprint, but we've got to make our plan creative and innovative still. We can't depend on what we just did.
And so how do you make the Village? I mean, there's so much going on down there when it was going on, and you did a great job last go around. How do you expand and improve that? Is it by area? Is it by time?
It's probably a little bit of all of that. We had a 9-day footprint in the Village, and that was good for us because it spread the people out over the 9 days that we're there, gave lots of people different opportunities to do things. So I think there's a little bit of all of those things into our new Village plan. With some things that we're going to try to be real highlights, like we had the zip line this time. And those are probably not things we're going to talk about ahead of time because then we don't want one of those other cities to copy us.
Right. I was going to ask you, how can you top the zip line? Make it higher, make it faster, make it longer, or two of them?
Yeah, well, the other thing, from 2012 to 2018, that's 6 years, and there's a lot of different things that can change between now and then. I don't know that the technology for having a zip line down downtown in an urban setting was around 6 years ago. So we'll be sort of catching up with the times and keeping an eye on what other events do around the world that have things that are really iconic.
Are you thinking the zip line might be passé by then and old news?
I don't know. You know, I don't know. We still had people waiting and waiting and waiting to get in line for that. So if we do it again, I think we'd open it 24 hours probably.
So one of the things that everybody liked about Indy was it's compact, easy to get around everywhere. But would you look at expanding things outside the downtown area and try to get other areas involved more?
Yeah, I think, you know, because of the weather, we had a lot more people downtown than we planned on 2 nights in particular, really that Friday night before the Super Bowl and Saturday night. So we would want to really take a look at the footprint of downtown, see if there were places that we could adjust and change a little bit to make the pedestrian traffic flow a little bit better. So, you know, we're examining all those things, and for the bid, we'll certainly want to give them an idea of what we're going to do with the village, but we don't have to have it in nitty-gritty detail. So if we get the event in May, then we can really start working on those things.
If you were an odds maker, what are our chances?
You know, I think we have as good a shot as anybody else. You know, we proved ourselves, and the feedback has been great. I think we've developed a great relationship with the NFL, and so I think all those things are good. You know, and we would not be bidding if we didn't think we can win. So I think we've got a good shot.
What do you know you will do different, especially in the bid process, that you didn't do last time?
Gosh, that's a good question. You know, I think we'll pattern our bid strategy similar to what we did last time because it worked, and that will be, you know, reaching out to certain parts of the NFL fraternity to try to help us out and understand different things that are important. You know, we talked a lot about legacy, and we delivered a big legacy project. So legacy is important to us, and we believe it's important to the NFL. So we will, you know, take those things that worked well last time and build on them.
Jim Irsay said that he could call in some favors from some of the other team owners around to help us out here. How much of a role does he and the Colts play in getting this?
Absolutely critical. The Colts have been amazing to work with. I worked with them on the 2007 bid for the 11 Super Bowl that we did not get, for the 8 bid in 2008 for the 12 bid, and then we'll be working with them again on this bid. Jim is highly respected in NFL circles. His wisdom and his manner, the way he conducts himself in the NFL, he's just got so much respect, and that's important. That's really important. And Pete Ward is just done a great job as well, really sort of helping us through any landmines and really guiding and directing us. So the Colts are critical.
And one final thing you'd like to leave our viewers with before we say goodbye?
Just that we're excited. You know, we feel like we did a lot of great community bonding for the Super Bowl. It was never for us about that 4-hour football game. It was about everything else that it could bring to the community, and pulling so many residents together to work side by side to do all kinds of different projects. So we're excited, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to do it again.
All right, Allison Millington, Chair of the 2018 Super Bowl Bid Committee. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Coming up, a major traffic headache just days away for those in the downtown area. The South Split is going to be closing for about 2 months. We are sitting down with a spokesperson for INDOT coming up. This Tuesday, a major traffic change is coming to the downtown area as workers will be ripping apart I-65 and I-70 around the South Split. The project to lower roadways and improve bridge clearances for big trucks will be very disruptive to traffic as the area will see closures for the next 2 months. The good news is this project doesn't involve the complete closing of the split. The southbound local lanes of the interstate between the north and south splits will remain open. That means inbound commuters can still access the off-ramps at Michigan, Ohio, and Fletcher. Outbound commuters won't have that advantage, though. Joining us now is the spokesman for INDOT, Nathan Riggs, who has more details on this plan and what it's going to mean for drivers. And this is something we've been talking about for a long time. It's coming soon. So starting from Sunday and into Labor Day, what are drivers going to be looking at?
Well, on Labor Day Monday, we will have, typically we tend to pull back our work zones on Labor Day, but Indianapolis will be an exception this year. We've got this accelerated contract to get this done as quickly as possible. We will be implementing lane restrictions on Labor Day. Downtown, we will have some sporadic city street restrictions as contractors modify the downtown signage to direct motorists to ramps that will remain open during the closure. Likewise, on interstate routes coming into the city, contractors will be uncovering signs that have been in place for a week or two to alert motorists of the closure. And then later on in the day, after about 9 p.m., there will be some significant lane restrictions in and around the North Split and South Split as the contractor modifies the pavement markings, places the barrier wall and the barricades, and closes the interstate shortly after midnight.
But if you haven't come up for a new way to get to work by Tuesday morning, you're going to be in trouble.
Well, you will end up finding one.
Yeah.
But yes, we are asking motorists who commute these routes to plan ahead, check out the website, see how it's going to affect your route. You might have to take a different ramp, but if you're coming downtown, most of the ramps will remain open. But if you use the area between the splits to cross town, you will not be able to do that after Tuesday morning for 59 days.
We want to encourage people to go to the website, check things out for themselves. But just for a few examples, say somebody's coming from Greenwood, for instance, and they're coming up trying to get through that area. I mean, what is a good way for somebody to do that?
Well, it really just depends on their final destination. If they're going very far north, they might consider taking 465 around. But if they're coming downtown, they will still have the option of taking 70 westbound, and the West Street, Missouri Street, as well as the Meridian Street exits will still be open. So they can traverse via alternate routes downtown across the city if you're coming from the south side.
Which is what everybody else will be doing. And people are going to be finding their way around because they're not used to going that way. They're looking at their phones and their GPS trying to figure out how to get there. What do you expect the first week?
Well, we do expect increased traffic, not just on the first week, but throughout the duration of the project. Increased traffic on some of those local routes because they won't be using the interstate. But especially during the first week, everyone's going to be adjusting, not just the motorists trying to find their best route, but NDOT, DPW will be watching the different routes and making adjustments, improvements where they can, especially on the signal timings and things like that. We're going to have to be adjusting as well because we don't quite know exactly how traffic is going to react, but we have done projects like this in the past, and we do have a good template, nice springboard to start with, and hopefully we can make those adjustments relatively quickly.
Right. I know the city, and you can't speak for the city, but I know they're changing some roads to alleviate move parking so that more traffic can flow through there. Any other things like that going on that you know of that is going to make it much easier for people to get in and out of town?
Well, we looked at the routes that we anticipated people taking in and out, and we looked and tried to do what we could to help expedite that traffic flow. The city did decide to restrict some parking, parking hours restricted, as well as permanent parking restricted. Permanent for the project, I guess. We did restripe New York Street to add a travel lane that ties in there to the Pine Street ramp to northbound 65, eastbound 70. Likewise, we widened that ramp to 2 lanes. It won't be 2 lanes until we actually implement the closure, but once that is closed, that ramp won't have interstate traffic to merge on with. That will be the first entrance point for that interstate. So those two lanes will be able to just flow right onto the interstate, which should help things a lot.
All right. 60 days, right? 2 months, basically?
59.
59, okay. And you're encouraging them to get it done sooner, I would imagine.
We're offering a pretty substantial incentive of $60,000 per day for them to meet or beat that 59-day mark.
Okay, and this will solve all hits?
Well, it won't solve the problem. The real problem is just a small fraction of truck drivers with oversized loads, either not securing their loads, not measuring their loads properly. Anything over 13 foot 6 inches is supposed to get a permit from the Department of Revenue, and in that permit directs them to a safe route to travel. So the trucks that are striking these bridges are not following one of those steps. We have bridges that are much taller than that occasionally get hit, and it's not the bridge's fault. It's somebody didn't follow the proper safety precautions.
But it should take care of most everything.
Right. Increasing these clearances will definitely reduce the probability of this happening in the future.
Right. Nathan Riggs, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. After the break, we're sitting down with our political insiders. The mayor and city county council are at odds right now. Our insiders will break that down and break down what's wrong. Coming up. All right, and joining us now are two of our political insiders, Laura Beck and Abdul Hakim Shabazz. Thank you all for being here on this Labor Day weekend. Very excited.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm
just glad I got the briefing on the closure of the interstates here, because I haven't really been paying attention. So this is
hey, you
very
better pay
informative.
attention. This is a big deal.
Yeah, I know. This is very informative to me.
Hey,
I know who to call now to complain.
Another big thing going on, Super Bowl. We're going to make the bid for the 2018 Super Bowl 52. You know, is that something we need to be spending more money on and focusing on? And
Indianapolis, I get this question a lot when the story broke that the city was going to go for another bid. People are asking why. Indianapolis, part of what we do
Who's
is
asking you why?
actually quite a few people.
Just kidding.
The convention and the tourism business is very important to Indianapolis, and the Super Bowl is sort of the mother of all conventions.
Right.
And the more you can do, the more you can showcase and highlight the city. I mean, you can spend the money on the earned media. You know, if you actually have to pay for the media, you know, that you get from the Super Bowl. You know, it helps our economy. You know, it drives business. It puts and keeps people, to work. I mean, when Allison Langton had to say, "Don't send in your resume just yet. Let us get past the first bidding process first. You know, then we'll be happy to start taking resumes." So no, I think it's a good thing for the city to do.
people are excited. We talked to a couple people who were lukewarm about it, though. I don't know if everybody's up for it.
Well, I think putting on a Super Bowl like this is a massive undertaking, and it requires just a tremendous community effort. And I think Indianapolis, we've showed last time that we can do it better than anybody else. But at the same time, it takes a lot to lead up to, and it takes a lot of money as well. And I think one of the things that we've seen coming out of the last Super Bowl is that there were issues with police shortages. There were some of those issues. And so a lot of times, if you're living in the city and you're seeing the money go to it, you also want the money to go back to your city too. So it's that cost benefit analysis. But
everybody's going to be reaching for that money being spent on the Super Bowl because their roads aren't paved or they're.
You see, but the thing, but what's important to keep in mind is the money for the Super Bowl bid is all private. It is not. It is not.
And they had some leftover from last year or the last go-round that they're actually.
But to the average person, though, it's not something that you're necessarily making that distinction between. So, and you know, we do have some competition, but I mean, I think we've got a great shot at it once again, and it certainly seems like we've got a great team, and Allison Langton leading it, you know, taking it on. So it'll be interesting to see. We've got to wait until October, right?
Yeah, okay, it's not all rainbows and fun. The city council.
This is the most about sports I think I know right now. So this is really.
That's twice as much as I do. So
this is absolutely the extent of my knowledge.
Sport. Mayor Ballard and the city council, county council committee decided no, that his proposal.
Yeah, because for some strange reason, I would never understand.
What did you say in the green room? Wine, rapture. What did you say? Joy,
rapture, and divinity.
Joy, rapture, and divinity.
I do not understand why African American city county councilors would vote against, number one, their African American city county council president, and anything that would help fix money and fix streets in their own neighborhoods. And I guess this is why, you know, as word got out, these guys started getting beat up in social media, and there are a lot of folks in the clergy business in those neighborhoods who are like, hey, what's going on? Why are you guys voting against us getting our streets and sidewalks fixed?
I don't really. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
I just want to ask a question. No, I disagree with Abdul. Not surprisingly, I disagree with Abdul. I mean, I don't really see this as this major divide between the council
Party
and the mayor.
No,
what I think this is more of, really than anything, is this is just part of the budget process. The budget process begins in August. It ends in October, and over that time, there's a lot of give and take. There are a lot of different conversations about what we want to spend a very limited amount of funds on. And yes, I understand that we would be borrowing the money for these street and infrastructure improvements, but at the same time, we're facing a critical staffing issue within the police and fire department. So, just don't interrupt me. But if you've got a limited amount of money, which we do, you have to prioritize how you're going to spend that. And so what the council is saying to the mayor is, yeah, this is what you want to do, but let's talk about priorities on our end too.
And you just proved my point, which is here's $150 million that you can borrow.
Yeah, we're going to borrow.
That you're going to borrow, but how's it going to be paid back? It's going to come back from gas tax revenue, the exact same thing that was done back in 2003 when the city issued about $100 million bonds worth of some road improvement projects. The money is coming from gas tax revenue that's coming from the state of Indiana. It is not coming from income taxes. It's not going from sales taxes. And you can already, and by that way, also by doing that, you get bigger bang for your buck because now we have more money to take care of roads infrastructure, then we can use some of our other limited resources, as you just rightly brought up, that we can use on police, fire, and public safety. But
this is also a part of the conversation. This is not a dictatorship. This is not a one-way street. this is part of the conversation.
Well, it's a no-way street because the Democrats won't spend the money for the roads.
But we've got people who are afraid to be on the streets because we don't have enough police. So there is a give and take here. That's just a part of this process, and I think it happens many, many times. I don't think it's a big surprise that this is happening. I think they'll come together. I think they'll craft a budget that works.
I think when everybody sees a party line vote on so many of these issues, it's just like, can't we compromise?
There's
Can't
a
somebody
lot of-
move a little bit?
There's a lot of what the Democrats are afraid of is that Greg Ballard is going to run for a third term, and he's going to, as a very smart young lady once told me, pave his way to a third term.
I did not say that.
Their term in office. I mean, this is what they were about, and they want to put up as many roadblocks as humanly possible and wait for Joe Hogsett to finally get off his rear end and declare he's running for mayor so they can try to stop Greg.
This is about the 2014 budget. This is about crafting a budget that's responsible. This is about having time to discuss the issues. This is about really working through it. And so I don't think that this is endemic of any kind of party line issue or anything like that. I think it's just a part of the process that happens. I think if we had a Republican council and a Democrat mayor, I think you'd see a same kind of give and take, and that's what happens in the process.
But I don't think you see a Republican council cut off a Republican president at the knees.
But when you have divided government, which is what we have in Marion County, and we did an entire show, I think, on divided government and what it means. This is part of the healthy discourse that happens. I mean, even when you look at the
20 seconds left.
Even when you look at the supermajorities of the same party, they disagree. So you're not always going to have full agreement, but you get there at some point.
But you expect a certain amount of people to act functional. And when Democrats are cutting off each other at the knees, because this was Maggie Lewis, the council president, she co-sponsored the proposal, and her own Democrats voted against it, totally undermining her authority, when just a week ago they were complaining about an attempted coup.
This is just the narrative that they're trying to get out right now.
Can't we all just get along?
Tell that to the Democrats. They're the ones who are fighting each other.
He drives me crazy.
Laura
Really.
and Duel, thanks for joining us. Have a
Come
great
back.
holiday weekend.
Have a good Labor Day.
Thank you. You too. Happy Labor Day.
The conversation between our insiders, of course, doesn't end here. You can join in with them on Twitter. Check out their Twitter handles and give us your opinion. And stay up with Kip, Abdul, Laura, and Jennifer throughout the week. Indianapolis This Week continues after the break.
Last chance through Labor Day. 0% financing on select models. Savings up to $14,000. On the spot delivery. Good, bad, slow credit. No problem. Last chance. The 22nd annual Southside Auto Dealer tent sale at the Greenwood Park Mall.
Oh, yeah, we're going.
We're going too.
When everyone's going, go with a van from Ace Rent-A-Car, offering minivans, 15-passenger vans, and now featuring the Mercedes Sprinter van. Reserve yours today at acerentacar.com or call 888-789-VANS.
Are we too late for the clearance event?
No, there's still lots to choose from, but they're going fast.
Are we too late for the clearance event?
No, there's still lots to choose from, but they're going fast.
Are we still late for the...
No, there's lots to choose from, but they're going fast.
Spritz?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, good.
That's good.
Get an amazing 0% APR financing on a new 2013 Camry. Or lease a new 2013 Camry LE for only $199 a month. Hurry into your local Toyota dealer today. These are your final days to save. Don't miss out. Toyota, let's go places.
One day can change your life. I remember the day that changed mine. The doctor said, "You have leukemia." I can still hear those words, and they crushed me.
But they didn't stop you. Today, my mom is alive because of medical advances that were made possible by ordinary people doing an extraordinary thing.
Donating.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is saving lives not someday, but today. Please join the fight and donate online at lls.org.
Because someday is today.
I'm Kerry Likens from Citizens Energy Group. We're celebrating 125 years of serving Central Indiana. We're proud to support the Jefferson Awards and their mission to recognize the unsung heroes in our community. Make a nomination now at theindychannel.com.
Last chance through Labor Day. 0% financing on select models. Savings up to $14,000. On the spot delivery. Good, bad, slow credit. No problem. Last chance. The 22nd annual Southside Auto Dealer tent sale at the Greenwood Park Mall.
Know what's happening first thing in the morning.
Download the RTV6 app today.
An important note, Indianapolis This Week moves to a new time next week. We move earlier, starting at 7:30, right after the new Good Morning Indiana weekend and just before Good Morning America. That's it for this edition. Have a great weekend.